Hello all the friends out there. Today's video is going to have very much different format. It is going to be an interview. We're going to cover 3 circles of topics. Number 1, how is the travel and tourism situation in Prague at this moment, May 2020? Second circle will be Supreme Prague as a firm. And number 3, it is going to be about our guest. So I would like to welcome my guest, who is Lenka, the founder of Supreme Prague. Thank you for having me. Thank you very much. So I would like to jump right into our interview. How is it for you at the beginning of the virus or the COVID-19? Exactly what were you doing, what you were doing with your situation and with the look into the season of 2020? Well, when it all started, so let's talk about March 2020, early March 2020, when it was clear for Czech Republic that the borders will close and the pandemic situation is happening, that the world is being changed and being stopped at that moment. At that moment, actually, I was in Bali. I was in Asia and I was enjoying my vacation before the main season would start here. And I was hoping, well, it was clear that the Easter time is going to be, let's say, destroyed or crashed, or meaning that there's not going to be any tourism, any tourists, and everything's being cancelled. People started cancelling their tours or postponing for further on of the year 2020. So it was very clear very soon that everything will stop and we will not have anything to do as guides. Coming into that, so what do you think, how is the rest of the season going to look like for you? We are hoping to get some tours hopefully delivered already in September, October. That's the second part of the main season. So if we say that the season begins in Easter time and then it goes through, so April, May, June, those are the main months for the springtime, and then it returns, meaning the tours and touristic season again in autumn time, exactly. And then for recovery further up for the Christmas market. So that's a big season again. So if we have lost the first half of the season, we are hoping to get hopefully something for the other half. And we really do hope, and the situation looks like that it will be more Europeans who will come, or it looks like the flights will be much more expensive than it was until this spring. So we are not really going to get many tourists from farther destinations, so it will be Europeans for the rest of the year. So what can you tell us? How is the travel situation at this moment? Can people come to Prague? What has to be done? What is restricted? How people have to behave? Are the sites even open at all? Most of the things are still closed, and we are talking about early May 2020. So far, it looks that the government will open almost everything on 17th of May, that it's not going to be this emergency state anymore, and we can go wherever we want to. The sites will be open. However, until now, you have to wear the facial mask or face mask. But after May 17th, it also looks that the borders will be open. All kinds of questions are unanswered at this moment, but we are hoping that the tourism will start slowly again to pick up. And altogether, how was the Czech Republic affected by the virus? Do you know any numbers, or was the situation really bad, like in Italy or Spain or United States now? Or well, the situation was not that harsh. We didn't have so many casualties in Czech Republic. We had about 8,000 people who were positively tested, and we had over 200 at this moment, over 260 people who died because of the virus. So let's come to the second circle of questions, and that is about your firm Supreme Prague. So what can you tell me? What is actually Supreme Prague? Supreme Prague is a family business. I really do love to repeat this sentence, and that is Supreme Prague is a family business run by mother and daughter Eva and Lenka. I'm the daughter, Lenka, obviously, and yes. We specialize on guided tours in Prague, mostly, if not only, and we do tours also going out of Prague. So there are different sites, different towns, different, let's say, factories, manufacturers that you can visit, whether it's Karlsbad, Karlovy Vary, or Terezín concentration camp, or Český Krumlov, the town in the south. We do take you there as a traveler. but we don't deal with the hotels. We only specialize on tours or transfers. So what is your selling point? Why should I, as a traveler, choose Supreme Prague for my guided tours? Our main selling point is that we are the locals, that we live here and we know the city. We work only with people who live here, either were born here as Czech people or have immigrated into the country and they have been living here for many, many years. So we do know the city. So with this, if you come and you have seen it all, either you come for the second, third, fourth time and you want to see something new, I can assure you that you will always find something new with us. What is the criteria to become a guide in Prague? Well, surprisingly enough, there aren't any criteria, so you don't need to pass any tests officially. The only thing what you have to do is to be registered at the Ministry of Finance for your income and for the taxation to be paid. But officially, as a guide, actually anybody can work. However, there is a course that the city of Prague offers, or another company also, that you pay and go through this course. So all the really good agencies want you to have this certificate, want to have this course. Other than that, and you can find it also on the prices of the tours. Usually the people who have these courses, or the one course for guiding, the prices for the tours are higher because it somehow guarantees that this tour guide is somewhat specialized, at least have, let's say, the basic knowledge of the Czech history. However, the people who do not have this certificate, most likely those are students who come to study in Prague and they just have read one or two books about Prague and they think they can guide. So there is very much a big difference between the two groups of the people who have or do not have this certificate. How people can book your tours? Where do people find you? Well, we're such a small firm, as plenty of other guides, let's say, or small firms, we do sell the same things, let's say tour of a Prague castle. So as such, we are not really visible online. So that means if you type in search engine Prague castle guided tour, we are not coming up. If you want to be on the first ranks of the Google, you need to have high traffic to your website. That means millions of inquiries, and we are not this big. So we need to be visible there where people find us. That means we want to be present on different platforms such as Viator, Get Your Guide, Yantra, and we are finding more and more, and that's, let's say, the goal for the future and to have a growth of the business. So let's come to another circle of topics, and that is the YouTube videos. I know that you started doing your videos. Why did you start doing that? What is the message for the travelers? Well, that's related to the previous question that you asked. We want to be visible on all the platforms where people find and ask questions, find answers, and that is YouTube. And for that, social media is bigger and bigger, and I want the people to find us there. So I want them to find wonderful museums that we have in Prague. So the message is we are the experts on Prague. Well, so talking about the videos, we need to touch upon the most famous guide in Prague, and that is the Honest Guide with Janek Rubeš and Honza Mikulka. How is it different, or what can you tell me their videos in regard to your videos, and do you even know Janek? Well, obviously I do not know Janek. I met him once. I ran into him in a pub and I wanted to talk with him, but he just had a quick drink and then he had an interview or talk with someone at the municipality, so I don't know him, obviously. And when I started doing these videos and started telling my friends that I want to do videos about Prague, everybody was like, oh sure, you want to be like Honest Guy, we know this guy. And I said, yeah, exactly not like that, because Janek shows Prague from different angle. When I asked him what is he a guide actually, and he said, no, I'm just a journalist and I am the citizen of Prague and I do not like certain things about Prague, so I want to change them. So I said, yeah, that's wonderful, and we do need Janek, and actually there are changes being made in Prague because of his work. However, he doesn't have at some point certain really small tips for the travelers, and I hope to show this in my videos. And let's cover the last part of the questions, and that is you, Lenka. So what is your former education actually? What did you study? My education, I have 2 bachelor degrees and 1 master's degree. I was always involved or studied humanities. So I have a degree in German language. I have a degree, so that was from Charles University in Prague. I have a degree in Humanities, Culture and Society from the Anglo-American University in Prague. And lastly, I have a master's degree from Jewish history in Heidelberg, that's where the school was located. And always everybody was asking me, where will you live after your studies? Where will you, and what will you do? And I never really knew the answers, but somehow it got to be, and I loved the city obviously, and that my mother was the tour guide, and I grew up in this environment. So simply I became a guide in Prague. So even though I had humanities education, I found my path to be a guide. What languages do you speak? I speak 3 languages fluently. So my mother tongue is Czech. I speak English and I speak German. I learned French and Hebrew, but I cannot say much in these 2 languages. And do you give tours in all of these, or at least English and German, I assume? Yes, I do give tours in English. That's my first foreign language that I speak. And secondly, I do give tours in German, but we also offer tours in French and Russian as a standard. But if anybody else wants to have a tour, let's say in Spanish or Portuguese, we are definitely able to find guides in these languages as well. And tell me honestly, did you always want to be a guide, or what was your path? Actually, I never really wanted to be a guide. It was how it came to be. My mother was a tour guide, and when I was growing up, and I always liked this independence of her, that she didn't have this job from 9 to 5, and I liked that. I always had the idea to work for some international agency, whether that's, let's say, UNESCO or Ministry of Foreign Affairs or anything like that, or German embassy or something like that. But I realized I simply don't want to be employed. So with this, I came, let's say, back to the roots of the family, back to guiding. Okay, wonderful. So with that, I think that we can end our interview. That was Lenka Dvořáková, the Supreme Prague founder. Thank you for being with me today. I wish you all the best for the rest of the year 2020. Hope that the tourists will not be afraid to travel anymore. So with this, I want to thank you. If you have any comments or questions, you can write them down below the video. Do not forget to subscribe and share our videos. So that was all from me today. Hope to see you next time. Have a nice day.